What's up guys, welcome to Boosted Motorsports. Today's video, we are super busy. I'm trying to get everything done so that we can go to the drag strip tonight. And right now it's about noon hour. So plan is, I have a Driveshaft loop. I will link this in the description below because it is a generic Driveshaft loop. It was only about 30 bucks off Amazon. But it is going to work beautifully. I've already kind of test fitted it before I started recording this to make sure that it's going to do what I need it to do, and it will. So the only thing is kind of a little bit of a pain, but I have to take the seats out because I have to mount this to the floor. I could go through the carpet. I don't want to go through the carpet. I am going to remove both seats. It's only 4 bolts. But as you can see, I have the truck on the lift. I gotta put it down, open the arms so that I can open the doors because I'm gonna have to roll it back. Take out all the seats, 2 seats, so that I can peel up the carpet. So I guess the center console has to come out as well. It shouldn't take that long. I think probably in about 20 minutes or so, I can have both seats out, center console, and have to peel up the carpet. From there, I need to drill holes, and in this case, it's going to be 4 holes on each side, so 2, 4, 6, 8. Drill those holes, mount the Driveshaft loop underneath, and you might be asking why we're putting on a Driveshaft loop. It's because right now I'm waiting for the FedEx man to show up so that I can mount our brand new full slicks. So we have bias ply slicks that are showing up, Hoosier tires, and they're gonna go on 2 of those so that we can put them on, finally get traction, since we were just doing nothing but spinning last time. Anyways, enough of the talking. Let me get this off here, rolled back so I can open my doors and get those seats out. Okay, so here we are. Like I said, I just had to take it off the lift so that I could roll it back so that I can get my doors fully open so we can get access to here. So if you guys watched the first few videos that we did on this whole thing, we still got wrap in here. Look at that. It's all the wrap from the roof. We had to take out the seats and we took out the carpet, so it's not the first time we're doing this. Anyways, I think, so there's 2 bolts here and then 2 bolts on the back, and that's pretty much it. There's no electrical on these seats, so I'll yank those out real quick. And then our center console is only held in by a few, I think it was 8mm screws. So there's a couple here and a couple in there, and we'll get that out. So in case you're wondering, 13mm bolts on the front, 18mm bolts on the rear, 4 bolts, it comes out. Center console is out, and this bracket, and all I'm gonna do hopefully is just try to peel it up to about here because we're only gonna be drilling in here. All right, so that's it, and we're gonna end up drilling somewhere in this approximate area. So what I'm going to do, and I'll show you guys and explain it in just a second, is down there, we're gonna drill our bolt holes there. I'm gonna put the bracket up here to measure for my holes on this side because the whole exhaust system is on this side of the truck, and I can't drill up, so I have to drill down. So this is going to allow me to drill down so I can put my bolts in and everything up here without having to remove the whole exhaust to drill up. So that's the plan, and the bolts are gonna be hidden underneath the seat. Here's the rear bolts, here's the front bolts. So the seats sit here, so all the hardware is going to be under the seat. You're not going to see it. Obviously this little bump here is where the transmission is, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to do it under the carpet so you don't see it from the top if you ever were to see up here, and let's get to it. The one thing I do want to do is we can use our holes for our seat as a point of reference. I want to make sure that I'm in front of this bump here, which is about 5 inches from the hole. So as long as I'm about 5 inches from the hole, I'll be into this area here, where I want to be. So let's go ahead and go below and see where we end up. And now I just got to roll the truck forward, put the arms under, get it up in the air. All right, the FedEx man has arrived with our tires. Truck's up in the air now, so let me show you guys what the game plan is. So here is the transmission, and you can see the flat area up over here. So what the plan is, that there is the bolt where the seat goes through, the back bolts, and I want to put it up on this flat section here. So here's the plan. We're going to put it up here. It has to be 6 inches, no more than 6 inches off the center of the yoke. So right there is where we'll put it, but I'm holding it with one hand right now. So let me get into place and mark my holes and we'll start drilling. One thing I want to point out, and this is a common complaint on these things, is that this U shape isn't quite a U. It's almost like a V. So you guys can probably see it's like bowed out that way and that way. And you kind of have to, if you just try to bolt it up, like it won't be flat. This will be like kind of bananaed. So what you have to do is bend it back straight, and these are super strong. You can kind of see mine is bending here, which isn't the end of the world, but just keep it in mind when you end up doing this, because what I'm trying to do is get this thing to be completely, like this plane to be flat, so that I can mount it to the truck, mark my holes. But when the thing's bananaed like this, like it's this way and that way, it's hard to get your holes, because I mean that can move as much as half an inch off from where you need to be. So just keep that in mind when you guys are doing this. So I'm going to tighten these up and I'm going to bend this so that this is straight, so that I can mark my holes properly. All right, so there's roughly where we need to be. I just put the other loop in just to kind of straighten things out and get my bracket straight. We'll be able to get a clear shot at those two bolts there drilling there. And then from there we can anticipate where the other two are on that side by bringing our bracket up top. So I'll drill down after I get those two drilled up so I know where I'm at. And that's the plan. So let's get some holes. Okay, so you guys saw that I have the hardware for the loops on. I don't have the lug nuts on, but I at least have the 8 bolts that are holding those 2 loops on. But for some strange reason, the hardware that they give you in this drive shaft loop is missing a bunch of pieces. But luckily, if you guys are true car guys, you'll have a junk bolt drawer or miscellaneous hardware drawer. If you don't, start doing it. Whenever you guys take something apart and you have extra hardware, just throw it in some sort of bin. I promise you it'll come back in handy. So I managed to find 4 bolts that are identical. So same thing, I found a bunch of lock nuts as well. So the only thing is with the nylon ones, it's gonna be a bit of a challenge because I'm doing this by myself. So having somebody hold the top while you're tightening the bottom might prove difficult. But actually, you know what I'll do? I'll just use the lock nut ones on the actual loop, and I'll use the ones with the lock washers through the chassis so that I don't frustrate myself and get you know, because it's impossible. You gotta try to hold the bolt up top and then tighten a nylon lock nut on the bottom. It would be pretty hard. So anyways, I got a bunch of hardware to make up for the lack of hardware in the kit. Let's get to it. So now I'm gonna go up top where our hole is and drop this bolt down so we can hang it. So with the bolt now there, I can lift this up, put a nut on it, and at least it's gonna hold it since I'm doing things by myself right now. So I can kind of get it to where it needs to be. It's already centered here, so we can start drilling the rest of the hole. So our hole is drilled here. Let's go ahead and put a bolt on this side so that it's hanging. All right, so we put our bolt through. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put a nut on here just so I can drill my other holes. Okay, so I'm just tightening up my 9/16 bolts. You guys will probably laugh at my ingenuitive way of getting this tight without being up there. And since there's those heat shields that we went through, it's kind of compressing, so this is helping out. I had to use one longer bolt just so that I could get those to compress so that my correct length bolts will fit as well. So it's kind of what we're ending up with. I can start smashing a bunch more holes through here and get this thing tightened up. So like I mentioned, just my ingenuitive way of holding the bolt, I just put a huge breaker bar on it, put it up against the back wall there, and that's what did that. So now what I'm gonna do is go up here. I'm just gonna use this as a template. So I'm gonna put it on the 2 bolts that I drilled, the 2 holes, and it'll give me my other 2, which are directly above the cat, since I don't wanna take off the whole exhaust system. So that's my way of using a sure template to make sure we're drilling the right holes in the right spot. So there's our 4 holes there. Here is our 2 that are here, but we need 2 more right there. So here we are. Let's put our 2 more holes in. All right, so we got our 4 holes. Let's go back down. So here's where we at. We got those 4 bolts on. I still have to put the top of the loop on. And I got my 3 bolts in there. I just have to run up top and fit that last 4th one in there. So Like I said, I didn't want to remove the cat to try to drill up, so we drilled down, it worked out, everything lined up, and we're almost rock and rolling. Okay guys, that's where we're at. We got the 4 bolts tight on this side, and I just gotta snug up those ones over there, but she is sturdy. I still gotta put the upper loop on, but let me tighten up those bolts and then we'll focus on this. All right, so we got our second person in place. We'll go down here and tighten up our bolts. Next up, I'm gonna put our upper loop on. I might heighten this one a little bit. Only thing that I usually end up with my concern is when you get closer to this, it really gets close. So it's not hanging below the bottom of the vehicle, so I honestly might just leave this lower one where it is, and I'll put the upper one in as well. All right, so there's the finished installed product. Like I said, you could probably bring this up a little bit if you wanted to, but I'd rather have a bit more clearance rather than bringing these up and having the heads of these bolts real close. I don't know how much this drivetrain moves right now. I know I probably need a new transmission mount, maybe some engine mounts, so she might get a little wiggle in there, so I'd rather have a bit more room. Everything's tight. We got all 4 bolts on each side. Tight, good to go. Let's put this thing down, and I just want to vacuum out all those shavings so that it doesn't do anything, and then we'll put our carpet back in. And if you guys are wondering why I didn't put it all the way up, it's because the cab of the roof is higher than the car. So I can only go up so high in this garage until I reconstruct the ceiling, so we can go all the way up into that vaulted ceiling way up there. When I'm working on the cars, I can go up a lot higher and stand underneath it and just kind of crouch. Almost fully stand, but underneath the truck, I don't have that luxury. And down she goes. Okay, so we'll roll this baby back a little bit so we can open up the doors fully. Don't worry, it's not gonna run away, I promise you. It'll hit that bump before she decides to run away. Grab our shop vac real quick. Okay, that's all clean, so now I just gotta flip back our carpet. Ooh, this is actually foam from the seat. The seat itself is deteriorating, so this is foam coming out of the bottom of the seat. So anyways, let me tuck this back in here and we can get our seats back in. Carpet's all in place. Let's put the center console in. Ooh, some nice sticky tires showed up. Let's put the seat in. And there you have it. Interior's all installed. Drive shaft loop is in. I gotta go get some tires put on. All right guys, that's it for today's video. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it informative. And now you guys saw what it takes to put one of those easy, cheap drive shaft loops on a Dodge Dakota. Like I said, it's a universal drive shaft loop, so if you guys want to put it on any other vehicle, you can attempt to do so. I did modify one of those to fit on a Ram, which I also have a video on previously, but it's very, very easy to put it on this Dakota. You can simply mount it to the floor and you're all done just like that. So I'll link that product in the description below. You guys can check that out. Also, if you guys are stopping by for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button. There is a lot of content on the way. We're about to start modifying a lot of stuff on the Dakota, making it go faster. So make sure you guys are tuned in for that stuff. Also, make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. It helps support the channel. And you'll see that join button below. Hit that join button so you guys can become a member of Team Boosted Motorsports. There's a bunch of perks, but it'll list them out when you guys click on that button. Also, you guys can help support the channel and support your boy by grabbing some merch. You'll see the Teespring down below. I'm wearing one right now. You'll see. So anyways, thanks for watching guys. We'll see you on the next video.